Welcome to VDEOMKR,
the podcast that cuts past the highlight reel and takes you straight into the raw, behind-the-scenes stories of creatives and makers. I'm Carly, founder of The Good Vibe Media, a woman-owned and operated video production agency and creative studio space. Every week on VDEOMKR, I sit down with filmmakers, creators, and creative entrepreneurs for a deep, honest conversation you don't typically hear. The late nights, the pivots, the breakdowns that shape the breakthroughs. These are the conversations and stories that people like me and so many other creatives need to hear. This is a space for growth, for lessons, for community, a place where we can learn from each other's real, unfiltered journeys. This is VDEOMKR. Let's get rolling. Welcome back to another episode of VDEOMKR. I'm your host, Carly, and we don't have one, but two amazing guests on our episode today, Stephen and Lisette. Thank you for being on the show.
Of course, thank you.
So excited to get into this convo. Before we dive in, I am going to read your bios, and then we'll do some rapid fire questions to warm us up.
Good.
Okay, so Lisette is a photographer, cinematographer, and content creator with more than a decade of experience bringing stories to life through both video and photo. Throughout her career, she's worked with brands, businesses, events, and individuals, creating content that blends authentic storytelling with a polished, cinematic style. Whether she's behind the camera, capturing intimate moments, producing dynamic brand campaigns, or creating engaging social content, Lisette has a talent for finding the emotion in every frame and turning it into visuals that truly connect. She's also been an incredible part of the Good Vibe Media family, serving as one of our trusted camera operators for the past several years and helping bring countless client stories to life.
That's so sweet.
I love you.
I love you.
I'm so grateful you're here.
I'm so curious to hear what mine say.
Like, Stephen is her fiance.
Yes.
Next.
And cut.
And done.
He's the +1 to their wedding.
Oh, Stephen is a Phoenix-based director, writer, and filmmaker with a passion for telling stories that leave a lasting impact. Whether he's creating narrative films or commercial work, Stephen is driven by the belief that every project should be emotionally engaging, visually compelling, and thought-provoking. Beyond directing and writing, Stephen wears many hats on set, from producing to working as part of the camera team, giving him a well-rounded perspective on every stage of the filmmaking process. Throughout his career, his work has been recognized with multiple film festival awards, as well as several student production honors from the Rocky Mountain Emmy Awards during his time in film school. And a fun fact, these two are getting married in a few months, counting down the days.
We are.
We love the idea of having them on together to not only highlight their individual careers, but to share from a perspective of working with a partner. Welcome.
Hello, thank you. Those are great bios.
Really good.
So good. I'm just so excited to have this convo, like on so many different realms of relationship to filmmaking to all of the above. So we'll get into all of those questions soon. But first, let's do some rapid fire. And any of you can answer, like, let's see who answers first type thing. It's a race to the answer. Okay, first one is, what was the first thing that you ever made that you were proud of?
Oh, I think our senior capstone. Together.
Yeah, that one was important to Lisette as well because she wrote the story as well. And that was a big part of her wanting to make that film was like, I want to make a film that like I got to write. And like, so yeah, I echo it. I echo that for her. I would say the first thing I made that I was proud of was probably a short film called Motions, because it was a little class assignment that we had like 3 different cameras break on, a little crew of like 4 or 5 people. It was just this little romance black and white short film I made, and I don't even like romance movies, but something compelled me to make one, I guess, and it won like best of fest at BEA, which is like Broadcast Educators Association, so it's like a nationwide thing. I didn't even know what it was
Wow.
My professor was just like, hey, you won. And I was like, cool, what does that mean? And they're like, you get a check and we get to go to Vegas and on stage and all this stuff. And I was like, oh. I was like, okay.
Epic.
And so it was this project that had so many technical problems happen. And so it was this weird, I don't know, it was just this cool little moment when I was still very young in my filmmaking journey to where I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. And, like,
100%.
yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, I love that. Okay, what's something in your gear kit that you cannot live without?
Hmm.
I was gonna say your memory, your SD cards. That's too easy though. I think actually good audio. Yeah, good audio equipment.
What do you use for your mics?
Oh man. Well, me personally, so in a normal situation, I'd like to have an actual sound mixer, and they're gonna have stuff way better than I'll ever have. But
Yeah.
if it's just me going around like videographer style, I really like the Hollyland Lark series. Those are really good. I know DJI makes a lot of good stuff too. I mean, they're all like that style of lav. They're all great, no matter which one you pick. But
You have the Hollyland, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
she is the better version than
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
I honestly can't think of it. I feel like because my photo and gear kits are pretty different. I love my harness for my photos. I feel like it puts a lot of the weight off of my neck.
How many years did you go without the harness?
Oh gosh, way too long.
Yeah.
Like more than half, where I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll just do the strap. I'll do the strap. And then I got the harness and I was like, oh my
Where has this
gosh,
been all
like
my life?
neck feels no wonder I have bad neck pain.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
I
think
changed my
that's a good
answer
one.
now. My little belt thing I
Oh
have.
yeah, that's a good one.
There's this like belt harness I have that you slot your gimbal into, so it takes the weight off of it, and you can just like rest it on your hip.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
You can literally like
We
it's
need
just like a knockoff brand on Amazon.
Amazing.
I forget the
Okay.
actual name of it, but everyone should get those things.
Wow.
That's very helpful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, all right, this is a big one. What's your favorite thing that you've captured thus far in your career?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I know mine.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you sent me and Nikki to do the Jonas Brothers like private
Oh,
that
yeah.
private event,
Yep.
mostly because it felt like if I told myself that I was going to do that like 10 years ago, I'd be like, no way. And then we did it and it was so fun.
You're like
Loved it.
literally
Yeah.
inches away from the Jonas
I know.
Brothers.
So I really did love that. But we did just shoot a project. Was it last year, earlier this year?
So it was primarily shot last year, and then we shot
A
the
couple
last like
scenes.
few pickup scenes this past like
Yeah.
May or something.
Cinematography wise, I think that's my favorite thing visually,
Yeah.
just because every time I've like shown it to somebody or like my family, they're like, wow, that's a real movie. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, this is what I do.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, my answer would be that the movie we just recently shot. That's definitely to date now will be like my favorite and proudest thing we've ever made.
And the most expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
definitely
sure.
the most expensive thing as well. Yeah, I could say a lot about that.
Oh yeah, we'll get
Yeah.
into talking
Cool,
about this film a
cool.
little bit, and once we get through some of this rapid fire, we've got a few more questions.
Sweet.
I'm curious where you feel the most creative. Where are you when you feel the most creative?
Like,
For me, right before bed, when I'm
Really?
trying to fall asleep.
So your dreams are probably just
I literally am somebody who like I'm for whatever reason like just thinking of so many ideas and like random or like rewatching like scenes of movies in my head right before falling
I
asleep.
love this.
And then I get so much inspiration from it. But yeah, I would say that like right before bed
Yeah.
when the lights are off and I'm just like trying to fall asleep.
I would say mine are either when I'm driving, because I'll listen to music, and music is often like paired with me listening to creative things in my head. Like I'll just think of like a scene playing out and then think of like what would the story be attached to this scene, and then sometimes that gives me ideas. And then I have to like immediately, like, once I'm in a like safe spot to like whether I'm parked or sorry at a red light, I'll quickly like type the idea on my phone just so I don't forget it. Or at the gym, like while I again, usually again the through line is that I'm listening to music. That often is what like inspires ideas for me.
I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, what's your go-to caffeine order?
Don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
So I would say,
I just had a 5-hour energy.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I would say the yellow Red Bulls if I drink, like if I have to drink something, I would drink that.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't have an order. I'll take a little 5-hour energy and drink like half of it and be good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little boost.
Yeah.
Okay, what's a trend in filmmaking that you're really excited about right now?
Ooh.
Oh, everything being like in camera. A lot of
Yes.
practical effects happening right now. I think slowly we're moving away from CGI. Like we're kind of meshing it together now. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a different answer, but I totally agree with that one. I love the like people playing around with filters and just getting funky with like different like in-camera effects. I think that I've always been like a visual learner and like a hands-on arts type of guy too. So like the analog likeness of like doing in-camera practical effects to me is like I think that's the most fun thing for me right now.
So cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, who is someone that you would drop everything to collaborate with and why?
Anyone in the world?
Anyone, dead or
Oh my
alive?
gosh.
Brad Pitt.
Oh,
Love just for
Yeah. Just to look at him.
just
Yeah.
look at it. No, but probably like somebody like Christopher Nolan or yeah,
Hoyt.
Hoyt. Oh
Hoyt.
my God, I love him.
Yeah, Nolan's the hot name for sure, especially right now. Odyssey, incredible. Yeah, just for the sake of saying something different, I would say probably Spielberg. Yeah, I grew up with Spielberg style films being my films, and like so, yeah, that would be like meeting a legend.
We have the same name, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
he spells it differently, but
You know, he went to high school right down the
yes, I
street.
do know
He
that.
dropped out,
Yeah,
but he
But
was
still
there.
went there.
He was there.
yeah.
Yeah, because in his film, you see like Camelback Mountain
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
what is that film called again? Live.
Was that Firelights?
no, the Fable. No,
Oh, Fableman?
is it that
Fableman?
one?
I
The
think
one
it's-
that Annika's.
Oh, Fablemans.
That one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's basically like based off of his story of making it in
Yeah.
Hollywood and whatnot. But you see like moments in the neighborhoods around here in Camelback Mountain, which I thought was pretty
I
epic.
haven't seen it.
I might have butchered that. His first film, wasn't it? I thought it was Firelights. I could be. I'm brain farting on it, but it was something like that.
Yeah, it'll come to us halfway through this episode, I'm sure. All right, last question. What is one thing about your creative process that people might be surprised to know?
For me is that I'm kind of an in the moment kind of person. So when I'm with my gaffer, I don't often do lighting plots or anything. We literally just talk about it and we do it. Or we figure it out when we're there, which is not normal.
Yeah, I mean, the real answer is like do it in whatever way works for you.
True.
But I don't know. It may or may not be surprising, but I don't. And this Lisette will probably be irritated by this, but I don't put a lot of stock in storyboarding. For multiple reasons. Like if my DP really wants me to, I will. But the way I view it is if I have shown that I can make a film successfully and I didn't storyboard once, it's a nice to have at that point for me. So if it's really asked for, then I will. But if I feel like I can get away without it and feel like I'm not restricted by trying to match an exact storyboard I pre-wrote versus being in the moment, and like I go like, "Ooh, I wanted a close-up," instead of me looking at a picture that I had drawn or designed, whatever, and trying to match that, I want to frame up the close up, and then in the moment maybe shift it in certain ways. And granted, you could still do that with a storyboard, but I don't know. In my mind, when I write out a shot list and I write close up, and I've talked about it already with the DP and everyone else involved, we know what the shot is.
Yeah, totally. That's really good. That's really good. Okay, I want to get into your story. When I think of like Arizona filmmaking, you guys are like the power couple duo, and it doesn't always work for everyone. Speaking for myself, I don't know how I could ever be in a relationship and have my spouse be in the creative realm. If you look at my spouse, he is very type A, not creative at all. But you two together, it's just so awesome to see what you create, how you collaborate, and just your love story. So take us back to when you guys met. I want to hear that story of how you guys became the amazing couple that you are today.
You want me to say?
Yeah.
Well,
When you fell in love with me.
well, the truth is, like, when we first met, we were just friends. Like,
Yeah.
we were seeing different people.
We were
It
in
wasn't,
college.
yeah. It was in college, film school. So the first time I ever meeting Lisette was her actually selling me a book
that I was never gonna use.
yeah, it was a book I needed for class, and she was just at admin. I forget her actual title at the time, but Jamie, she's the dean now. She's great.
Yeah.
She connected us over email and was like, hey, this person, she's selling a book that you need. And I was like, all right, cool. And we linked up and saw her at the top of the stairs, and she came down and sold me the book.
You sent, when you responded to that
gosh.
email,
I forgot
you
about this.
sent an accidental like winking
I sent like a
face
wink face by accident at the end of my
at the end of the message.
and I immediately,
And I was like, wow.
I immediately messaged again. I was like, I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to say.
And she's like, or was it an accident?
I was like, oh gosh, and it was like an email, I think,
It
too.
was
So
an
I couldn't
email.
like edit the text or anything like that. So I immediately sent another email saying, I'm so sorry for sending a wink face. I didn't mean to put that.
Oh my God.
And I was like, it's fine.
I was like,
about
this
it.
girl probably thinks I'm a freak. Like the first, like, hey, you just sell me a book, wink face.
Wink face.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I was on the balcony, and then I was like, this sucker is going to buy these books, and he's never going to use them.
Yeah.
That was our first time meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And
we
then-
became really good friends.
Yeah. And then it was just like friendship developed into, feelings, and the rest is history. So.
Were you working together on projects? And like, when did you know that this relationship was something bigger?
Yeah, I mean, we worked on a handful of projects, and then I don't know. I think it was just a really late night in college, and that pretty much was it.
Yeah. It was,
We were just talking about our lives. But like I mean, it wasn't any different than what we normally would talk about. Like we always would talk about our lives. So I don't know what
we
was,
had worked a lot, like
Yeah.
in different like teams and groups, as film school you get put in groups and stuff, but we only like really worked in the like DP director position together like twice in film school.
Yeah.
But that's really where our friendship really started, because I know you, and forgive me if I'm misspeaking, but if I remember, you were like in this mindset of like, I want to be given this opportunity to shoot and like DP a film. And I was like, well, DP my film. I was like, come shoot mine.
That's awesome.
And then our senior film came around, and then she was like, I haven't got to like also, like my whole time in film school, never got to really shoot one of my stories ever once. And I was like, well, let's make our senior film your story. And so she wrote
Wow.
this story, and then I helped her make it into the screenplay.
Yeah. I'm not good at writing scripts. I write things like their book. Like, like books are so incredibly detailed and unnecessary information you don't really need.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't use that in the script. So
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how to turn that
That's like
into-
what we would call a treatment when you're making a script.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
So creativity was definitely something you all bonded over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And what built that relationship.
totally.
Okay, who knew the other person was like the one first?
I want to say you.
That I knew?
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
I love it. What would you say was like your first impression of each other?
my gosh. I don't know. Like Steven was dating somebody, so like in my brain,
Yeah.
I'm like off limits. So I don't know. He was just always so like kind, and I mean, you're incredibly sarcastic. So I feel like that was a big first impression.
I'd pick her up and fake go to throw her off the balcony at the, on the second floor.
Oh
I'd be
my
like, whoa,
God.
and she'd be like, stop. Yeah, I don't know. My first impression of her was when I'm like really trying to think about it, I think I just thought that you were cool. Like I liked what you wore, and I saw like you and Patricia and Katie like longboarding outside every now and then. I was like, yeah, they're cool. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up skateboarding, so
Yeah.
I would say that. Aside from like just like if I'm not counting just physical
Physical
first
aspect,
impressions
yeah,
of someone,
same.
I would say I just thought you were cool.
Yeah, for sure. So fun. Okay, we're going to talk about a little bit of the creativity from different lenses. And Stephen, I want to start with you first because your work is really rooted in storytelling and directing. What draws you to emotionally driven stories?
I think what draws me to emotionally driven stories in the realm of filmmaking is that I I think that you can say this even in the commercial space that this is an art form when you really distill it down. And for me, I think art is a human expression.
Yeah.
And so, what is more expressive about human nature than emotions, like what we feel, what we go through? So, like, you can go to the movies and get your slop that's just some shoot 'em up action film, and that fills a, certain realm, and that's okay. But I think by and large, most films, even some of the big dumb action films, can still have something to say and something that speaks to someone out there watching, even if it's just one person. Because I think that art has a way of reminding people how connected we all are and how like very much like each other we are. And I think nowadays we need to be reminded of that more than ever.
For sure.
So I think that's why I get really drawn to wanting to feel like I should say something in everything I make and focus on the emotion and, how is this going to make someone feel seeing it this way or hearing it this way? And because if you're just making stuff for the sake of making stuff, that's fine. But I just feel like you should always have a point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just practice.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. As a director, how do you approach bringing an idea from your head into something tangible on screen?
It's hard. There are ideas that pop in my head all the time, and like I've even said this to Lisette before, where I'm like, "Oh, I have this one idea, and I'm really excited about it. I just have no idea how you would pull it off."
Yeah.
And I think the easiest answer to that is surrounding yourself with people that are either better than you or smarter than you, etc. Like if I don't know much about VFX and I have this idea that's really VFX heavy, I'm gonna ping the people I know that are really good at it.
Yeah.
Say what goes into this, how hard is this gonna be, etc. Same with when when we were doing Astray. I was like, I want to do a science fiction film. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of people try and do that with short films around here, so let's try it. And I had to go, do we build a space shuttle cockpit? Do we look for one, etc.? And I had to kind of like switch to a producing hat at that point and get looking around and then just make phone calls. And that's how we ended up where we were, and we got really fortunate. But yeah, I would say the way I make that tangible is by learning, being a student, talking to people that know more than me, and just being humble. Yeah.
So incredibly important. Okay, Lisette, I'm going to move over to you. You've built your career capturing moments through photography and cinematography. What originally pulled you behind the camera?
My dad saying no. When I was a kid, I really wanted to be an actress for whatever reason. I was not outgoing or an extrovert. So I don't know why I thought that would be something I wanted to do. But I think any kid who like grew up watching Disney Channel or something, they're like,
Yeah.
I want to be on Disney Channel. And then I found out really quick that I really am not cut out for that. So I was like, what's the next best thing? And I was like, I'll shoot it. And I started with photos because that was like accessible. I felt like I could get a camera and take the photos, and it didn't have to be like a moving image.
Yeah.
So I started off in high school with taking classes, and I wasn't very good at it. I mean, I was awful. It's atrocious to look at those previous photos, but I kept going. I just thought like eventually I'll have to get pretty good at it. And then I started getting paid for it. So then I thought, okay, well, what's the next big step? And that's, I need a career in this. But my dad was very much like, you need a degree. And I don't care where you get it, but you need that piece of paper, which you don't need to go to film school. But
that's where you guys are, right?
It is.
So no regrets on that.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary. Yeah. So I was like, fine, I'll get a degree in film. And I did that. And now we're here, and I'm actually doing it as my career.
Yes, which is so awesome. And, you know, working with brands, events, individuals, you've covered a lot of scope. How do you approach finding the story within each subject?
I think, so I think a lot of that has to do with the specific project. And I think every project, it's very unique. And I feel like it's really important to talk to the person you're doing the project for and what they want and what they're looking for, and then just taking those little details and then turning it into this visually appealing story. So I think it very much comes down to just this communication and partnership that you have with the people that you're creating content for.
Yep, for sure, for sure. Okay, Stephen, I'm curious what you've learned about leadership through your filmmaking journey thus far.
There is a phrase I say a lot. A lot of my friends she's laughing because she has what I'm going to say. There's a difference between being a boss and a leader. You follow bosses because you have to. You follow leaders because you want to. Yeah. And I think that especially, I mean, whether you're in the role of a producer, director, DP, anyone who has anyone, I don't want to say under you, but working for you, etc. You need to inspire people to want to buy into your vision and go along with what you're doing. And I think that like that in and of itself is a skill set that a lot of people I feel like also have to learn aside from just the creative, at least speaking from a director's POV, because you could just boss people around, and especially when it's a paid environment, they have to. But like as soon as they leave, they're like, ugh, like that guy. And I don't know. I just don't want that. This is like I said, it's a creative field, and yes, it is a business, but I want people to enjoy it. I want people to be happy. I want people to share in the love of what we're doing with me, not just be following along for a paycheck and because like they're disgruntled or anything like that. So yeah, when it comes to leadership, I think that, again, just speaking from the director lens, you're like the captain of a ship. Sometimes that ship's going to get holes blown in it, and you still have to just head up straight and keep steering, because it's a domino effect to everyone around you. If you start panicking, if you start like pointing out the holes in the ship, then all the other department heads are going to feel that, and the people with them are going to feel that, and your talent's going to feel that. So yeah, even when everything's going wrong around you, I think that you have to be, I think it was Jonah Hill said this in an interview about Scorsese, like an expert problem solver. Yeah. And I think that that's like the epitome of being a good leader.
You also have like a level of confidence too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but like be kind, like
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that goes hand in hand.
You can be confident and, I don't know, maybe even somewhat stern,
yeah.
and be kind. Like, you don't have to yell at people to get them to do stuff. Like, you just don't. And I think I hopefully I've done that. I know sometimes I have a resting serious face and I really don't mean to.
He really does.
I really don't mean to, I swear. But I've seen tons of people lead with kindness and in ways that are hyper effective. And that makes people want to follow you. That makes people want to keep working with you and talk you up. And if you're really good at what you do and you're a jerk, that's great. But people probably aren't going to want to work with you very often.
Right.
I mean, there are people you will meet that are hyper good at what they do. And that will only get you so far, because to be honest, if you're a jerk, as soon as another person comes around who's even remotely close to how good you are, or maybe not even, they're going to pick that person over you, just because no one wants to spend 12 plus hours a day with someone that they can't stand.
Truly.
Even if they're really good at what they do, no one wants to do that.
No, I'm so glad you brought that up. I also feel too that like when you have that stern leadership, but also kindness that goes with it, and you create that culture on set, it allows everybody on set to even be more creative and collaborative, which actually births, like you were saying with the storyboarding before, sometimes those moments that are unexpected on set are actually like the magic moments too, which I'm really glad you brought light to that, because that's really, really important.
Yeah, those end up being some of your favorite moments. Some of my favorite shots on any of the films I've done, like especially within context of me and Lisette, have been from like, oh, I think we should do this, and I'm like, didn't even plan it. And I was like, one in particular was What We Become. We were moving on to our second part of our location. We wrapped at one, and she was like, oh, I just really want to get a shot of her eyes. And I was like,
We don't have time, I think is what you said.
No.
We need this.
I was trying to hide that it was a woman at first because she was masked, and she was like in a fight scene with this guy, and that's when there's this reveal that she's like a young girl. And she's like, to be honest, she's like, I think the audience is gonna know already, like with what the shots we have. So I was just like, okay. I was like, I'm gonna move on with cast and crew the next location. I'll leave you, and like it was like the gaffer and like camera person.
Yeah, it was cam op, me, and then the actor. And
Yeah.
then I think.
And I was like, I'll just let you get it.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like one of my favorite shots of the whole movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. How do you think your creative perspectives complement one another?
I feel like we butt heads a lot. Honestly, that's something like unique to navigate. Even if it's not like a relationship thing, but people you're really close with that you work with, is I might say something to her that someone else that I'm not in a relationship with, obviously, wouldn't take in the same light that she would. And we had an example of that even on Astray, where we were filming in this hospital scene. And I remember saying something to her that came off really snippy, and immediately I saw the reaction on her face, like,
Yes.
and my mindset first and foremost was, I'm with my actor, he's super emotional, I want to keep him in it. I was like, all right, let's just, in the back of my head, I was like, I'm going to address this right after the scene. And as soon as we finished that scene, I took her into a little side room and I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I know how that came off. I was like, I immediately apologized. And squashed it. But yeah, that's, I would say the creative ways we impact one another is that it feels like you have someone.
I feel like I'm very into the aesthetics and visuals of things. So I feel like you don't have to worry about that. And I think
But I still do.
But I think creatively, like your focus is really on this story. And I'm not thinking about story. I'm thinking, how can I make this look good, but still, make it make sense.
I mean, that does serve as a reminder for me on set too, though. Like, you have to trust your people.
Yeah.
If you're working with this DP, you trust that they're going to make it look good. Because I think, and probably a lot of directors are guilty of this, but I think I'm the type that, like, I want to have my hands in everything. So I'll even occasionally come by camera and be like, Like
Go away.
I'll even come up and go like, "Can I play real quick?" I'll
No.
say that. I'm like, "Can I play?" And like move the camera around. So I'd say creatively that is how she compliments me, is those reminders of like I don't have to like put my hands on everything. How I probably impact her is I think that especially on a film set, it's not easy for me to get stressed out. I have an ability to turn that off on a film set, even when it feels like everything's blowing up around me. And I think I can attribute that to that very first experience doing motions where everything was going wrong on set and we still ended up winning an award for it and all these things. And I was just like, wow, I mean, that felt chaotic and we
Yeah.
still made something good out of it. I don't know. It just kind of became this like release of stress of like, oh, so things can be blowing up around you and still have something good come out of it. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I think that I always attribute it to that, but also starting my working career in like a corporate businessy environment, also not even in film related, then going to film, I feel like kind of gave me a different perspective also.
Absolutely, for sure. What would you say you all have taught each other creatively?
What have you taught me?
Nothing. I think one thing that you've taught me, or one, and I'll say that I'll say this. This is probably the first thing I could notice after film school, is when you're in film school, you're a lot of times really stressed about just nailing the basics of like, is the framing correct? Is the exposure correct?
Yeah.
So a lot of people fall guilty to like, I just want to make sure everything's exposed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want anything to be crushed or blown out, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, we can shoot for the look and we can intentionally crush that or do that, blah, blah, blah. And like,
manipulate
and
them
like,
later.
and working with her, giving that sort of ease of like, all right, I'll let you do it. And then seeing how it turns out in post, going like, okay, all right, I guess it is all right. And getting more comfortable with shooting for the look for things. Not feeling like you have to have every single thing exposed to tweak and post. Like that's fine. But like I've even DP'd some stuff where I've been like that now. I'm like, oh, this is really dark. And I looked at the director and I'm like, yeah, but you want it to be this way, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. Then let's
Yeah.
shoot it. Yeah.
Totally.
I think for me is I feel a lot more confident in myself. Like I feel like I was so scared of everything. And I think now I can either stand up for myself in a room full of men, and just like feel like I know what I'm doing, even if I don't.
Yes.
She'll be like, so and so said blah. I'm like, don't take that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I love that. Okay, so now creative careers can be a little unpredictable. I'm curious how you support each other through the highs and the lows.
Yeah, thankfully, when I've been in a good place, Steven, like if Steven's not in a good spot, I am. If I'm not in a good spot,
that's
he is.
wild.
So thankfully, I feel like it's always been that way. But for the most part, I think we've both kind of been at a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would just say trusting God first and foremost when you feel like uncertain in certain aspects of life. Just being like, all right, I trust you. I don't know how this is going to work out, or I don't know how this is going to play out. And then leaning on each other of like just being vulnerable of like, I'm hurting right now, or I'm struggling right now, and just being honest about it instead of just like trying to muscle through it. And like confidence only gets you so far. If you're struggling, you're struggling. You know, you can be confident while you struggle or honest while you struggle. Either way, you're still struggling. So it's better, especially in like, even if it's not a relationship or if it's a partnership even, to just be honest about it.
Yeah, for sure. That's really, really good. And also like having that skill set of problem solving and, that you get on set every time you're on set kind of helps support with that perspective too.
Just not stressing,
Yeah.
I mean, like the older we get, the more and more it becomes apparent like how fast life's moving. So like there's things worth stressing about, but at the same time, I'm also like, I also don't want to spend my life being worried and sad and angry and
Yeah.
all these different things. Like, even if I'm stressed out, just like on a film set, I want to try and smile through it and get through it.
Truly.
I'm waking up tomorrow. I got a roof over my head, food in my belly. Like, it could be a lot worse.
Perspective, for
Yeah.
sure.
That's true.
Yeah. Do you guys ever like find yourself talking shop like all day long?
Actually, no.
No?
Like, no. Like, we might talk about certain things like while we watch a movie or something. But
Yeah, I think after we watch movies, like we'll talk about it and dissect it.
Mm.
but yeah, we
But
don't really talk
don't-
shop per se a lot.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I don't think our whole life revolves around like filming and working and like
Yeah.
all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it does. But
Yeah.
but we goof around and
Yeah.
just don't really focus too much on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't I don't know, like, when you're doing something you love, like, there's that phrase of like, you don't want it to like feel like a job,
Yeah.
or it won't feel like work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think like when we're at home or we're just out with friends or things like that, like, when we do talk about movies or things like that, we'll talk about it with like a different POV
Mm-hmm.
than just like, ooh, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, all day long, it's just probably just normal like anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm curious when like your creative conversations, like, how do you know when that turns into like work conversation?
I don't know, but usually I find myself like wanting to talk about movies and like what I thought about them and things like that for like way longer than she does. Like
I tap out after a while.
like we saw the Odyssey and I'm just like talking
for like days.
for like
though.
days
Days.
about it. And she like after the car ride home was like, all right, next.
Uh-huh.
Like she'll still love it, but it's like already out of her brain and she's on to the next thing. But I'll just be like thinking about it for
I
like
need
days.
to stimulate my brain, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how I stimulate.
Yeah,
It's like trying to
exactly.
like think of how things were done in my head and break things down or just like
It's
or just be
fascinating.
amazed by the artistry and work that goes into that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
no, I love that, but I can't do that all day, every day.
Yeah.
I need to, because then I do
Disconnect.
start feeling like, am I working right now? Because I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
how they did that. But yeah,
I view it as work. I view it as work.
It's
but
research.
yeah,
It
it's,
is. We-
it's like
We literally just booked our tickets to go see it on
Incredible.
office hours because we're like, well, this is research.
You gotta
into-
you gotta see it on 70 mil IMAX.
Yes.
if you
Incredible.
can. It was incredible. I want to do it again. Yeah, amazing.
I love it. Okay. Do you guys ever like disagree creatively?
All the time.
And how do
all
you
the time.
handle it?
All the time. I just win. And
Uh,
And no comment, he says. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, but
No.
yeah, we do. We disagree all the time.
yeah, I think sometimes it comes down to just like how reasonable the other person is. I'm very stubborn. So for me, I'm like, no,
Not backing down here.
no, like I'll keep going. But at the end of the day, it's like I mean, we make it work, obviously. Like we come together and come to a mutual decision.
Usually, if it's while we're filming, it's all right. We'll shoot it both ways and see what
Yeah.
we like. Most of the time, I find our creative differences is like in like say post production. I'll be like working on a stray, and I'll be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And she'll be like, "I don't really like that," and I'm like, "Really? I was really liking it." And,
Yeah.
and I think that you have to temper your thoughts on certain things like that because at the end of the day, she's my fiance. I trust her creatively, but at the same time, she is just another opinion.
Mhm.
Just like I'm my own opinion, someone else's opinion, your opinion. At some point, you have to also trust what you want to do and go, even if it's not this person's cup of tea, that doesn't mean it's wrong.
Right.
It's just another POV on it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I feel like you're going to do what's right for your vision. And all I can say is whether I like it or not. I mean, the color, that I'll have an opinion on because I shot it and there's a specific way it should look, which I did. I think we sent like 3 different revisions until it was like, okay, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. With our colorist, Tom McCoy. Shout out Tom. Tom's great.
Incredible.
And he's great. Yeah, there was some back and forth, and usually it was like him sending me stills and me going like, this looks pretty sweet. Let me see what Lisette thinks. And she'd be like, I think more contrast here. And I'm like, hey, actually. And then like he'd send me more, and I'd be like, oh, this looks pretty good. I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, tweak this. And I'm like, hey, actually this. Like, I don't know. Usually with color, I defer to her.
Yeah.
She makes me feel like I'm colorblind. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you are. I feel like you are.
Don't say that on record.
Oh
Lisa.
my god.
I'm not colorblind. I have glasses now.
Yeah.
Sometimes when it's like other projects that he's doing for other people that he shot and like he's editing. And then he's like, what do you think of the color? I'm like, why is it green? Like, why does it look like that? And he's like, well, I mean, it looks normal to me. So I take it and then I delete the color and I do it all over again. And then we look at the back and forth. He's like, but I don't know why it looks like that. He's like, I did the same things you did. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Something's different here.
Oh, that's too good.
Color is hard for you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
She's just like publicly bashing her.
Yeah.
There are things that are
Roasted.
hard for me too. I can't
Yeah.
do some of the things you can do.
Yeah. Okay, we'll leave it at that. And moving on.
I'll plead the fifth. I won't say anything.
Okay, we have some really fun like rapid fire Q&As for you guys.
Okay.
And when I say rapid fire, this is like
First
Quick.
thing.
first thing that
Like
comes
one
to
word
mind.
or just
One-
short?
Just
Yeah,
short
just
sentence.
one word, I think.
I'll do my best. I'm really bad at
Or just
doing
super
words.
short and sweet.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
You talk a lot, so
And
I do.
yeah. And again, whoever like wants to spit it out first, like go at it.
okay.
There's no you know what I mean. Okay, first one. If you are hired for the same project, who naturally takes the lead?
Me.
Yes, Steven.
Yes. Who is more detail oriented?
Me.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Who is more likely to say, wait, we need one more shot?
Steven.
Probably me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is better problem solver on set?
I think me.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
it
would
depends
say
on
it
what it
depends on
is.
what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'd say usually
Yeah.
I'm pretty quick at the like, how do we pivot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Who is better under pressure?
Again, I think it depends,
the
but I think I would also say me. Just because I think you more visibly show stress. Like you still will
Yeah.
handle it, but you just more outwardly express
If
it.
I'm with you, I don't bother not like holding in my stress. If I'm
Yeah.
if I'm like with other people,
Yeah.
like outside of him,
Mhm.
like if I'm with you guys or
Mhm.
whatever, I feel like I am cool as a cucumber because
That's fair.
like
yeah.
every time I've been out with Nikki and she's stressed, I'm like, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. If I'm with
I think he's like that.
him, then I'm like I'm like, oh my God, what do we do? Like my brain shuts
That's
off.
fair. It does kind of depend on who you're around and like, oh, I
Yeah.
trust this person, so I know I can stress. They got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. Okay. Who has stronger opinions about lighting?
I'll say it.
Me.
Yeah. Who has stronger opinions about editing?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know. Pass. I don't know. I think it.
I think I catch a lot of the mistakes, like when it feels like the shot next to each other doesn't look quite right.
I think I'll have stronger opinions on narrative editing
Yeah.
versus commercial.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel that. All right. What is one creative habit the other person has that drives you crazy?
Mm.
I think
Oh my gosh. I love this.
I think for me, mine actually is more of a like. I a lot of times want her to be more vocal, like as a creative sometimes of like, no, here's my vision, here's what I want, versus like, I think sometimes because of that trust, you will give off the passiveness of like, oh, you like we're already aligned and that you know what you want. And like, I think sometimes I'm like, well, I kind of want you to like say something or like throw something out there. And
Be careful what you wish
yeah.
for.
I mean, creatively, yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm like, go for it. Yeah. I want you to like be large and in charge also on set, you're a boss. And
Sounds like you've supported her so much in that throughout the years too.
I'm not always good at it, but I try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've been great at that. For me, I think oftentimes like you tell me every thought and and I think like just a little less.
I think she confuses sometimes me thinking out loud for I need her to respond to everything I'm saying versus sometimes I just need to like talk about it with
And
someone.
I'm just like, yeah.
And she's thinking I need like her to comment on everything versus like, no, I just need like a soundboard right now. And, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's valid. Okay, well, what's one creative habit that you really admire about one another?
Steven's determination. I do. I feel like if I am feeling like I'm about to give up on something, he's very much like a pusher of like, no, 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 you're going to do this. So I do appreciate that.
What was the phrasing of the question again?
What's one creative habit you admire
Oh, okay.
about
Yeah.
Lisette?
I was gonna say what I admire, I think, about Lisette is speaking in terms of like as a DP. Um, what I like the things she does in pre-production with like her mood boards and like she's very like even when it's like a birthday party or something else, she has like, oh, I have a vibe in mind that like
I love a good theme.
that I'm
Yes.
after. It was the same as like when she's like, oh, you gotta watch Wuthering Heights, like the aesthetic and the look. Like she's very big on aesthetics and vibes, which is like really great in a DP because you want them to have like a vibe to what they're doing and not just like a neutral like I don't know who shot this.
Totally. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about building a life while you're building your careers because you guys are entering marriage while both building your creative careers. How are you intentional about creating balance?
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're both in the same headspace when it comes to our futures. And I feel like we both know where we want to be and what we want to do. And I think when you're on the same path in your career, you're on the same path at home. So I think we often talk about like what we want for ourselves and what we want together. And I think that's been very helpful in, figuring out our future.
Yeah, I think for me the answer is just the act of wanting to be aligned in the first place. So often you see whether it's creative partners or in a relationship, there is a degree of like, and we have conversations about this a lot. There is a degree of like you need to be your own person, but at the same time you have to remind yourself like we have to also be aligned in our vision of like much like a film, how you want the film to have a shared voice, you'd want your family to have a shared voice and like direction of where you want to go. Even if you don't know what it is, the act of you guys both wanting to achieve that, I think, is, a crucial step in and of itself while you figure out what that shared voice is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really, really good. How has, if it has, your definition of success kind of evolved throughout the years as you guys are getting older and thinking ahead?
I think happiness. To me, when you're happy, you're successful in all aspects of your life. You're doing what you love, you're with the people that you love. I think that to me screams successful. But I don't know if, I just feel like a lot of people equate it to like finances or I don't know, like being famous or whatever. And it's just not always about that. I feel like it's the feeling that you get.
Yeah, I would agree. I think when you start out in any field, really, not just film, you're after accolades, you're after getting recognized and like having your name mean something in rooms, so that people take you seriously. And I think that as I've gotten older, and I attribute it a lot to also my faith, you have worth already.
Yeah.
Any room you go into, your name already means something, and like you have to kind of recognize that. For me, I speak from like a Christian perspective, but even if it's a different faith or worldview, recognizing you already have worth, I think, is like the biggest growth into my adulthood. Is like I didn't need other people to recognize my name.
Thank you for sharing that. That was
Yeah.
good. Really good. Okay, last question, and then we'll start to wrap things up because I'm getting the cue from the producer behind the camera. I would love to hear like what your dream life looks like, visualize like 5 to 10 years from now.
Oh man.
How are you feeling? What are you doing?
I mean, I think by then we'd probably have children.
Or
Uh,
child.
Yeah,
Depends.
single. Or a dog. I don't know, whatever.
For a baby.
Both.
I feel like career-wise, I'm hopeful I'm still doing this because it's all I've ever known and done. I don't know if I have like an image of what that looks like. I just want to be like shooting
Yeah.
and doing it and meeting people and like traveling and just living life.
Um, yeah, family in full agreement on that. Career, I mean, to quote the great legend Rodney Mullins, till the wheels fall off. You know, it's once you find that thing that you feel like you're called to do, that you feel passionate about, that you love doing, you're gonna find every which way to keep doing it forever, for as long as you can. I mean, and just like when I started in film, I just kept telling myself the only ones who don't make it are the ones that quit. So even when it gets dark and unsure, I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm adding more questions here, but I'm curious, like, what are some of the resources that you guys have tapped into, maybe together or individually, when you feel a little bit in the dark or maybe you're hesitant? You know, I'm sure there's been moments throughout your creative career and the work that you've done where you're like, I had a roadblock, or I'm doubting, or I'm hesitating, or can I find that, success, whatever it is. What have you leaned on, or what resources could you share to maybe someone who's watching this that's like in that pit creatively? And
I feel like community is big. I think that you need to surround yourself around people that have like minds. And I feel like especially here in Arizona, I think it's like I don't know if I've come across somebody that's not willing to help or like teach you, or you just have to ask. And I feel like it's so important to be involved in other communities. And like, I mean, what was it? You guys had that grand opening recently
Yeah, at Influence
at
Studios.
Influence
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Studios. And it's like so many people were there that like either were like own their own studios or like
Other filmmakers,
like it was just like a
actors.
whole and it wasn't necessarily, I mean, it's networking, but I feel like it was mostly just like everybody coming together and meeting people and like asking questions. And I mean, we met people that were like, oh man, I would love to help you on your film, just like it sounds cool, like,
I'm talking to some people right now about it, actually, that I met at the event.
So it's like not being afraid to talk to people, to ask, to like build friendships. I mean, our friend who's also our neighbor, like I walk in and he's like sitting there on the couch with him watching
he was watching
this latest cut and like giving his opinion. And it's like, it's just so easy to just ask somebody for 5 minutes of your time,
Yeah, from I guess a different POV than the networking angle, because that's so important. But we get it. A lot of people in this field are introverts. Honestly, whether it's, even if you're not a writer, just write stuff down, even if it sucks, even if it's a bad idea, and then either A, go film it or do it, or B, refine it and keep making it better. But I think that leaning on people around you is super important, but also be willing to suck. Like just make stuff, create stuff. Like I know that this is countering what I was saying before about just creating for the sake of creating, but that's why I said unless you're learning. And I think that we're never done learning, especially in the arts. Like I always say forever a student. The confidence we wear when we're making stuff is just because you have to be that way when you're creating. But at the end of the day, we all go home with the same insecurities, the same like, am I doing good at this? Am I like being respected in the field I'm in, etc. I think that we all share that. So I think just be willing to be okay with the fact that, you know what, you might suck right now. Who cares?
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan made corporate videos at first. Fincher and all these other people were in the commercial space and doing XYZ things first. James Cameron got his first movie funded by like a dental place. It's like everybody started off at a space or a point where they were like unsure or
Truly.
like weren't, you know, the greatest yet.
Yeah.
But you just got to keep going.
It's great perspective. Okay, tell our listeners how they can find you and stay in touch and see some of your work and stuff.
You can find me on Instagram. Lisette, I think it's _Perez. I don't know if I'm going to change it. My last name might change.
Yes,
So,
very soon.
Just Instagram, Lisette.
Awesome.
I think that's all I have. TikTok.
Yeah.
Mine would be Stephen P. Davis Film on Instagram. And then if you want to look at the movie Astray, astray.shortfilm on Instagram. And then I also started like, it's Stray Films _. That's just like when I make narrative stuff, I'm just going to start putting it all under that. And I called it Stray, inspired by Astray that inspired me to do it. So that's why the logo is a little spaceman.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
So excited for you guys. So excited for this film and so grateful that you guys spent the time with us today to share a bit of your story, advice, and just all the above. I adore both of you.
Thank you. Yeah, likewise. I speak for Lisette when I say we're also grateful to feel worthwhile to talk to.
Find me at Good Vibe Studios.
Yeah, just come over to Good Vibe Studios anytime. It's likely you'll see Lisette here.
and me, an honorary good vibe gal.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. So good. Thanks, guys.